What is going on, guys? It is Livid. Hope you're all doing very well today. Welcome back to another vendor reset video. We are going to jump right in. We have a lot to cover this week. So we're starting off inside the terminal. We have a black market AK-74 with prepared, competent, and determined. You can make this work with a tactician build. Just roll off prepared for talented, and then we are all set. Next, we have an M700 carbon here in the terminal with balanced, meticulous, and elevated. You can either roll off balance for prepared, and you can use this for Hunter's Faith. Meticulous helps keep that bonus going, or you can keep balanced and you can roll prepared over meticulous instead, and you can use this for something like sentry. Our next item is this Omega rifle suppressor. We have a maxed out headshot damage roll with optimal range and critical hit chance. Ideally, you'd want critical hit damage here instead of optimal range, but this is still a really good option this week. And finally, our last item is an OD green hand stop with maxed out reload speed and critical hit damage and 2.5% stability. I believe stability goes up to 3%, but it's so rare to find that you might as well consider 2.5% maxed out at this point. We're finally done inside the terminal, so we're heading over to the Dark Zone gear vendor inside the base of operations. This vendor does have a relentless backpack with a low stamina roll, but it already has skill power and ammo capacity. You can just change the stamina over to electronics, and then you'll have a really good option for a relentless backpack for a tactician build. Ideally, you would not buy this from anything with Dark Zone credits. I would probably recommend just crafting these instead. You can pick up the backpack blueprints at any of the blueprint vendors inside the terminal or Camp Clinton. Speaking of Camp Clinton, we are going to head over there next. This vendor does have a 5% ballistic shield damage resilience mod. Granted, these are for Phoenix credits, but if you don't have them, I recommend just buying them. That way you don't have to worry about getting them later. These are perfect to be throwing on your D3 FNC builds. Next, we're heading over to Camp Hudson. This vendor does have a firearms mod on 262 with over 3100 skill power. These you could use for probably defense. You could probably make this work for a PvP build somehow. It's a bit of a niche mod, but they are really good rolls. So if you are looking for something like these are perfect to be picking up this week. Our next stop is going to be over at the Cavern. This vendor has our only damage to elite mod this week at 203 firearms and 3% damage to elites. We're still missing a 4%. I don't think we've had a 4% for over a year now for at least firearms. It's really unfortunate, but at least this one is over 200, which is still really good. So make sure you guys upgrade any of the mods that you have if you need some firearm mods. Our next stop is going to be over at Madison Stand. This vendor does have a reckless chest piece with a firearms roll of 1227 with skill haste and health and increased kill XP. There's a few things you can do with this. You can roll off skill haste for enemy armor, and you can use this for anything where you need a reckless chest piece. You can use this for Deadeye. You can do some kind of increased kill XP build with this if you'd like to and go for headshot kills. Or you can roll off increased kill XP for ammo capacity instead. That's ideally what I would recommend, but if you are going for more of a PvE version, you can definitely take skill haste off for enemy armor. Our next stop is going to be at DZ Park Avenue. This vendor does have a military G36 with vicious, deadly, and focused. This is perfect for Predator's Mark. You can just roll focused off, or you can do ferocious or destructive. Either one works really well. When we're done here, we're heading down to Dark Zone East 46th Street. This vendor has another Omega rifle suppressor for sale. Again, with maxed out headshot damage. It has 2.5 stability and 2% accuracy. Just a bit of a different approach if you aren't interested in the other one that's for sale. Next, we're heading down to Dark Zone East 42nd Street. This vendor does have a maxed out first aid self-heal mod. These are mainly used for PvP. However, you can throw them on for PvE if you're using something like the booster shot and you aren't really using a flashbang to instead use flashbang radius mods. You can definitely make it work in either way, but these are primarily used for PvP. Next, we're heading down to Dark Zone East 31st Street. This vendor has two items I would recommend. First, this SRSA-1 with sustained, prepared, and competent. This is perfect for a PvP Deadeye build. You can just roll off sustain for deadly, and then you're all set. The SRSA-1 is a bit of a different approach, however it does have pretty good stats, so if you don't have an M700 carbon, this is a perfect replacement until you get something better. This vendor is also selling a heavy magazine spring that has critical hit chance, damage, and rate of fire. Rate of fire is a bit low, it's a little bit over 1%, but it's still a really good option to buy if you are just needing something to throw on for last stand that's going to be optimized anyway. If you don't have any of these and you don't feel like crafting them, this is a really good one to be picking up. Next, we're heading across to Dark Zone West 31st Street. This vendor has a military AK-47 with brutal, commanding, and responsive. There's a couple different things you can do with this gun. You can either roll off responsive and put determined, and you can use this for a commanding determined striker build, or you can roll off commanding for really anything you want, and you can make it work for PvE. You could do destructive or even ferocious if you have enough electronics. This vendor also has a 264 firearms mod on over 3000 health. These again are perfect for PvP. You can just buy and throw these on for like your striker 6k stamina builds. These are perfect to be using. Next, we're heading up to Dark Zone West 42nd Street. This vendor has a really good C79 scope available with maxed out critical hit damage at 19%. 2.5 stability, and 2% accuracy. These are absolutely perfect to be throwing on your PvP Deadeye builds. I ended up buying a couple of these myself. You can throw these on your snipers, and that way you don't have to worry about any headshot damage or critical hit chance for the rolls. So if you do have enough credits, I would recommend buying these if you plan to be using Deadeye for PvP. And finally, our last stop is going to be Dark Zone West, 53rd Street. This vendor has an LVOAC with Vicious, Talented, and Determined. You can do a couple different things with this. You can either roll off Talented for something like Deadly, and you can use this for Predator's Mark, or you can roll off Vicious for Competent, and you can use this for Tactician skill build. That is going to be everything this week. This week was definitely way better than last week. I was actually a bit thankful that last week's was pretty bad, with me being sick and everything. I did throw a post up on YouTube for you guys to go and check out, but this week was definitely a lot better. Before we end the video, I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members. It's thanks to you guys that I'm able to make these weekly picks for you guys. I greatly appreciate your support. If you are interested in becoming a member, there is more information in the video description on how to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you all for your support. I will see you in the next video.
Can't believe the bullshit that went down in the dark zone at the end there.
I know. We had it. Everything I told them was dead on. They made us pull out anyway.
And we left our dead behind.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. Hang on a second.